sunny, beautiful summer day. Oh God, the sun is so bright, it's burning my sweet little emotional supportive eyeballs. Ah!
Oh, Gaycation Emotional Support Demon, you forgot your sunglasses. You see, they are important to wear when it's really bright outside, because consequences. Good evening, laddies, lasses, and welcome to the click. And remember, you smell absolutely astounding today. And don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. They will be the victim of severe consequences. Speaking of consequences, today we're gonna look at consequences. More specifically, r/OhNoConsequences, because consequences are sometimes really funny. Enjoy. Mwah.
Oh, look, the little kitty's gnawing on the thing. Oh, that's... Oh, no. Oh, my God.
This is just the cat equivalent of cutting off the branch you're sitting on. Man, and I thought that cats were like kind of smart and smooth and whatever. That has been debunked officially. That is one hell of a reinforced letterbox. Let's see you little punks smash my letterbox now. This reminds me of this guy who used to live on my dad's street. Every time it snowed, the snowplow would take out his mailbox, and only his mailbox. And just to be clear, it was done intentionally. No one knows why, but the driver of the snowplow would target his box and mow it down. He would even call the DOT to complain and would get an earful of excuses that amounted to,
not our fault you have a wimpy mailbox.
Fast forward to the next winter. First decent snow starts falling, and every kid is hoping for a snow day. It was right around 4:30 a.m. that the whole neighborhood was woken up to this loud clang and the screech of tearing metal. My dad made it to the window first and started laughing his ass off. Sitting outside was one very totaled and almost ripped in half snowplow. And these weren't little pickup snow trucks with a blade on the front. We have these up in NY. Well, as it turns out, over the summer, my dad's neighbor got himself a backhoe and sank a steel beam into the ground of his front yard. Then he covered it with a decorative wood sleeve and topped it off with a brand new mailbox. When the snowplow driver decided to mow it down, it was a bad case of immovable object meets unstoppable force. And the mailbox won, with the plow firmly impaled on the I-beam. It was very clear that the driver had gone out of his way to hit it. Naturally, the DOT wasn't happy, and the neighbor's reply was simple. Not my fault you have a wimpy snowplow. They did try to sue him for the damages. He's literally plowing down people's property and got the truck damage because of it. What do you mean try to sue him for damages? But as he had gone to the town, gotten approval for the post and its installation, and made sure everything was up to code, it was thrown out pretty quick. You know he is a king of petty when he's actually gone to the town to get approval for a damn mailbox just to ensure there is no consequences for this. Don't mess with a man that is this ambitious and this petty. This is amazing. And for anyone wondering about the driver, he was fine. His job in Tidy Whities, not so much. God, that is so freaking satisfying. I hope the driver was fired afterwards. Like, you can't keep ramming stuff that is sitting on people's property and expect not to damage company property, you know? This is absolutely insane. I'm surprised he wasn't fired the first time, because this seems to be a repeat offense, you know? But I guess they will take the complaint seriously now when they're getting their trucks impaled because of it. Girlfriend edged a breakup to see what it's like. What do you mean, a breakup? Is that like edging? But it's like, oh, maybe I'll break up with you. Oh, no, I'll break up with you. Oh, maybe I'll break up with you first. Oh, yeah. Is that what it is? My ex and I have separated. It's weird to say because I am still confused about everything, but it's as simple as the title says. A week ago, we were at my place when something just changed in her demeanor. She walked over and simply states, "I'm leaving." I was confused, and asked what she meant, and she said something along the lines of me knowing why. I am confused because a minute ago we were just happy watching shows and bullshitting. Upon further pressing, she says that it just seems like the right thing, or something. I get flustered and ask what's wrong, and she sits there silently staring at her phone and only speaking to give me updates about when a rider will arrive. I just stop pressing and sit down and just wait because I can't even explain this. I am not going to yell, scream, and cry. I've just felt the same burning hot feeling and difficulty breathing in my chest when my dog died. Like this was it, and I have nothing to understand why it's happening. All of a sudden, she puts down the phone and exclaims that she has changed her mind. I asked what that was about, and she giggles almost playfully and says that she wanted to edge a breakup. She gives me her answer, and I just end things there. She immediately regrets it, asking me to reconsider. The thing is that this happened before early in our relationship, and she explained that she has an impulsive habit of things. I've only seen this once, and it was when she ghosted me after just starting to date her. It sounds like she's just insufferable. It sounds like she enjoys making you suffer. Like the ghosting thing, for example, if she had explained it with something like, I got cold feet because it was moving too fast, or I wasn't sure if I was ready for a new relationship, or whatever. Like, sure, ghosting is still not a nice thing to do, but at least there's an explanation. Not necessarily an excuse, but at least an explanation that sounds somewhat reasonable, right? This is just insanity. This just sounds like weird power plays mixed with like emotional sadism. This is whack. Maybe in her defense, she was on her period and was experiencing mood swings. Okay, listen, fam, I have spent time with whammons in my days, alright? Also whammons on their periods. No whammon I have ever known on their period casually edges a breakup just because they're on their period. This makes like a mockery of what periods are supposed to be. She's just a piece of shit using it as an excuse, okay? Do not buy it, my boy. Maybe in her defense she was on her period and was experiencing mood swings, but I sent her home and haven't spoken to her in a week until now to get my stuff. Am I going too far? No, run! She seemed distraught and hurt. Of course she's distraught and hurt, but she's distraught and hurt because she's facing consequences. She's not distraught and hurt because she caused you discomfort or pain or made you relive the trauma of losing your pet, for example. That is not why, in the least. She's distraught because of consequences, not because of compassion. And genuinely meant not to have wanted that. I want her back so badly, but I don't know if I can trust her yet. You can't trust her at all. Run, my boy. It's making me sick, and I miss them so much. Am I wrong? Can there be something salvaged? I know she genuinely loves me, but I am scared that I'm just being abused. What's her next prank? Sleep with another man to see what cheating is like? That was a beautiful haiku. You cannot trust someone like this. She's already shown her true colors. Twice, mind you. One in the beginning of the relationship with the ghosting, and now while edging a breakup, whatever that means. To be fair, I probably would not have pursued her after the first ghosting thing, but I also understand if you feel like it's water under the bridge because it's long ago, it was before you knew each other well or were exclusive or whatever. Like, fine, I can see that like passing. But when it's a repeat behavior and she only shows remorse when she has consequences for it, she doesn't show remorse when she sees you, her partner, suffering and being distraught over her little like breakup pranks or whatever. Run from this person. They are incredibly abusive. This person sucks. Radical unschooling. Oh, quality Facebook groups.
How do others handle feeling like a complete failure? My 19-year-old can only do very basic math and cannot spell or write and argues about everything.
Maybe it's because a 19-year-old that was never taught how to read or write. Jesus Christ.
The 12-year-old argues about everything also. I am so burned out in doing absolutely everything with zero help. How does everyone else make this work?
I don't know, maybe the first life hack would be to like bring your kids to goddamn school so they learn how to read. I know that there's gonna be people in the comments that are like, I was homeschooled or whatever and it worked out fine, but the thing is that there are so many people like this parent here who takes their kids out of school or even unschool them, like, guys, that sounds pretty scary, without any plan of actually making it work. It's like, oh my god, my kids are just doing what they want and they will magically learn math and shit. It's not gonna happen. You're incredibly unequipped for it, you know? And this proves exactly that. How can you be upset about having to do everything when you literally pulled your kids out of school and tried to school them yourself on top of everything else? This is so stupid. This is so self-inflicted, and I feel so bad for the kids that are gonna have to start life at like square -5 because you never bothered to teach them how to fucking read. Alright, so here's like a random lady outside of a laundromat, and she's trying to steal the cart from the laundromat for some reason. I'm not even sure what she's gonna use it for. You know, why would I steal a laundromat cart? But anyway, she's really trying to stuff that in the car. There's no shame. She's doing it super open in the middle of the parking lot. Oh yes, indeed. Gotta steal these carts from my little shopping cart selling business. Oh, that doesn't look good. She's gonna smash the windshield, isn't she? She's gonna smash the... Oh, that's... Oh, instant karma, baby. Oh, that's so good. That's what you get for trying to steal the sweet little carts from the laundromat. And then she puts it back like, oh, how dare you smash my window, you dumb little cart. like putting it out would repair the window or whatever. And I was like, how did this happen? Look at this. It's all broken. What could this be? The consequences of my actions? No, it's the cart's fault. This inanimate object attacked me. Instant karma is so sweet. It makes me believe that maybe there is just a sliver of justice left in the world. Who am I kidding? It's all random bullshit. Next post. Oh no, your job is broken. Not me, my husband, but it's just so beautiful. So, Jerkface comes down while my husband is working the front desk at a hotel. My husband is on the phone with another customer when Jerkface starts smacking the counter and loudly yelling about how the free coffee has run out.
Excuse me? Free coffee? Hello? I see you're on the phone, but I am the main character. Excuse me, main character.
I haven't even met this person, and I despise them. My husband politely points out that he is on the phone with a customer and will refill the coffee as soon as he is finished. Not good enough for Jerkface, who loudly complains, swearing the whole time. Eventually, because hubby is still on the phone, he stomps off. Later the same day, he stomps out of the restaurant attached to the hotel, grumbling and complaining. And my husband calls out that the coffee is ready. He starts yelling at my husband about how it's too late now and comes up to the desk to vent his anger. He starts swearing at my husband, so my husband tells him to pack his stuff. He has 15 minutes to leave or cops are called. Our hotel has a no-tolerance policy for direct verbal abuse to our staff. That is amazing. Good policy. Hell yeah, basically anti-Karen policy. I hope that's what it's called, like behind the scenes. That'll be amazing. Jerkface doesn't start packing. Instead, he keeps swearing at my husband and threatening him just as the general manager walks out of the office, who tells Jerkface to get out or he's calling the cops. General manager also points out, while ending the man's week-long stay at the hotel, that he knows the man's boss by name and will be calling said boss to make sure Jerkface never stays at our hotel again. Oh, so he's there on a business trip. Okay, this is not just a tourist or whatever, he's actually there on a business trip, kind of representing the company. Oh, is this going where I think it's going? The general manager does indeed call the boss, and is promised that Jerkface won't be coming there again. General manager also sends the boss the video of Jerkface and his behavior, and an hour later gets a call that Jerkface is fired because that is not how this company behaves. Oh, isn't that just gorgeous when you're going around threatening other people's jobs and screaming at hotel management and stuff, and then your own job gets just washed down the drain instead. Oh, how sweet consequences are. Am I the butthole for giving my ex-girlfriend her ticket for Taylor Swift, but canceling everything else? I am working overseas right now, and I managed to get tickets for Taylor Swift in Singapore. The concert is this coming Saturday. My plan was to fly my girlfriend over for a little vacation. It's a long ways from Connecticut, so she was going to be staying for 10 days. It's a little cool trip. Oh my god, that sounds so fun and romantic. It was clear that I told her we would have 2 weekends together, as well as the evenings, but that I still had to go to work during the daytime. Last week, she called me and said that she was not okay with us being long distance. And after the concert, we were done. Wait, what do you mean? So you're still gonna cash out the free vacation that your boyfriend is paying for in the concert, but you're letting him know ahead of time that the relationship is over, and you're dumping him the moment you walk out of the concert. Okay. I asked for clarification. She said that she would come for the 10 days and we could have fun, but that we were done. Okay. I mean, usually when you intend to use someone for a free trip or a free concert or whatever, but you still have the full intention of dumping them or whatever, you don't usually tell someone when you're about to dupe them. Like, don't get me wrong, maybe that's a good thing, so now he has all the cards on the table or whatever, but man, she's both nasty and stupid. That's kind of fascinating. I can have fun without paying for it. I transferred her the one ticket and cancelled everything else. She called me to scream at me for cancelling the flights and hotel. You dumped him, and you did it like over text. You said that, "Oh, baby, that's so nice that you paid for my hotel and flights and tickets and everything. By the way, after the concert, I'm just gonna dump you. We can still have fun on the trip. See you there." And he's like, "Okay, no, then I'm not gonna pay for it." How dare you? Oh my god, how could you do this? He's not your boyfriend anymore. How can you be this entitled? What the fuck? I told her that I wasn't going to discuss it and hung up. I blocked her on everything. That is healthy. That is the good thing to do, because there is no point in arguing with someone like this, because they're so self-centered that they're not going to be able to see your side of things anyway. How dare you not allow me to use you and then dump you, like just toss you to the wind like you're a dirty cloth? Oh my god, how dare you? How are you even going to argue with that? It's better to just block it. What a waste of time. I am hearing from people back home that she has lost her She has been bragging about getting to see Taylor Swift and the vacation. Now she's telling everyone that I cancel the plans just out of the blue. Of course she is. Of course she is. Is she also gonna tell people that you cheated? Wouldn't surprise me. I guess that it is sort of true. I did not discuss it with her before I made my decision and did what I did. I mean, she didn't discuss it with you either when she decided to, like, use you for this trip and then dump you afterwards. So you deciding that, nah, I'm not gonna pay for someone's trip who has technically already dumped me seems like a pretty valid response. I'm gonna be honest. I unblocked her long enough to offer to buy the ticket back if she wasn't going to use it. That conversation was unpleasant and involved a lot of profanity. The upshot was that she would rather let it go to waste than let me have it.
She's also petty. Oh, that's amazing.
Her friends have been defending her and calling me a butthole. So her friend circle is also equally unhinged, huh? Or, benefit of the doubt, maybe she has told them an alternative version of the story, right? You cheated on like some random person you were working with and now you dumped her out of nowhere right before your romantic vacation and blah blah blah. Either that, or her friend circle is equally unhinged and entitled like she is. In that case, good riddance times two. My position is that I would feel like a John for flying her over for fun. Girlfriend is an idiot. How did she expect this would go?
Break up after the vacation, yay!
So glad her stupidity saved this guy time and money. Yeah, indeed, that's the thing that's so fascinating about this story. Like, usually, when you hear about people getting duped like this, the duper usually doesn't tell them ahead of time. But she's kind of a bad duper, because she will show all her cards ahead of time. So she is a person, but she's also a bit too, like, honest about her shittiness, so people can just avoid it ahead of time, I guess. That's kind of fascinating. But she's still, like, entitled about it, so it's not really honesty in a good way. It's just like not being smart enough to hide your manipulation? Question mark? It's so weird. I don't even know what to call it.
He was playing the piano live. This person ruined everything.
Why, though?
Luckily, 2 girls were there to support him because a few minutes later, the same woman came back and it's even worse. She starts by apologizing, but it's not sincere at all. Her friends are laughing in the background, and as if that's not enough, look at what she does next.
What an insufferable person.
Too bad for her, the boy was live on TikTok, and his video got over 3 million views. She will then come and cry, saying she didn't steal anything from him. She just pretended. And now she's being harassed, asking him to delete the video.
So to answer the question I've been asked the most, have I pressed charges? Yes, I have pressed charges. Case number is right here.
We can censor that for this video.
The police since that incident has happened.
People on the internet have taken it into their heads to find her and have shared information including an arrest report from last year involving a robbery.
So she has been in trouble like this before. Not just with this piano guy where she keeps coming back over and over again just to cause a ruckus and destroy things and even steal his money. She's also been in trouble with the law in the past. I can totally see why. It looks like she has no respect for other people and lacks any sort of boundaries. This is absolutely bonkers. And the fact that she was caught on a live stream is the most hilarious thing ever. Sometimes I'm a bit concerned about when the internet gets out their pitchforks and stuff like that, because they can make a very big deal out of very petty things, right? But, I don't know, in this instance it feels kinda karmiaic, right? It feels like karma. Hashtag breaking news. Search results for "Why do my eyes hurt?" and "My eyes hurt" have exploded after the total solar eclipse occurred. Yeah, just how the searches for like, what is a tariff surged after certain recent world events. Humanity is great. I think this is just modern Darwinism, I'm gonna be honest. Herving Plumbing Company owner Joel said that the restaurant had a history of being slow to make payments to his business. Plumber returns to reclog pipe after restaurant refuses to pay bill. Oh, that's amazing. This is so good. I think every single company and small business owner should have this kind of policy of like returning the service if they don't actually pay. What's the YouTuber equivalent of this? Like, you know, taking a sponsorship and they don't end up paying for it. Is to make a second sponsorship where you just roast the hell out of the product instead? I think that's probably it. Here's an honest review of the sponsor from last month that didn't pay my invoice. Oh, that'd be so funny. That'd be so funny. I'll totally do that if that ends up happening. Fuck yeah.
Am I the butt for digging up my husband's past? So I, 25F, have been with my husband, 23M, for 5 years and married for 3. He's a very quiet, reclusive guy. I can count how many friends he has on one hand, and he doesn't talk much about his childhood. I know that he has a single father, 43M, who he moved in with later on in his childhood, and an older half-brother, 25M. It seems to be a sort of taboo to bring up specifically his childhood, especially during the time before he moved in with his father. Okay, like hint hint, wink wink, maybe something absolutely horrid happened with his biological mother. You know, anyone can read between the lines and sort of come to that conclusion that it's probably some sort of nasty trauma, and maybe you shouldn't poke at it before he's ready, you know? No, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna read between those like very, very thick, obvious lines. Alrighty then. I've gone to dinner at his family's place a lot, and sometimes his brother would be telling a story. He'll get briefly brought up and then everyone will go quiet. It's bothered me for some time now, if I'm honest. I have asked so many times what's happened only for my husband to tell me he's not ready to talk about it or dodge the subject.
Yeah, can it be any more obvious? It's not even reading between the lines anymore. It's like written like childhood trauma in bold letters. It's not even reading between the lines. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god.
He is in therapy. So what's the holdup?
Maybe he's like in therapy for a reason. You know that trauma doesn't really have like a expiration date, so to say. It's not a package of milk that you put in the refrigerator and be like, oh yeah, this trauma is gonna be lumpy and expired in 7 days, and then I can just pour it out and it's gone forever. You know, trauma doesn't work like lumpy milk, sadly. It ain't that easy.
Recently, I also had noticed some scars on his neck. He wears a lot of turtlenecks, so I rarely am seeing or paying attention to his neck. I asked, and he dodged the question, and it just made me want to know what happened more.
This has to be bait. Okay, now it's taking it a bit too far. This post is bait, isn't it? This is just rage bait. This is bullshit, isn't it?
It all came to a head a few days ago when I decided to take things into my own hands while my husband was on a trip for the weekend. I asked all his friends what they knew, if he had said anything strange about his past. They said nothing. Learning this just made me want to find out more. I practically tore apart an entire house while he was gone looking for anything at all. Nothing. Fucking nothing. I swear to God, I was starting to think that he was some kind of fucking lab creature who never was a baby at this point.
I refuse to believe that a person is like this. Like, oh, look at this glaring sign that says potential childhood trauma. Tread carefully. And then it's like, my husband is a lab rat. Wow, nice little loving partner there. Yay.
There was nothing. No indicators of his life before his teens. And even then, barely anything was there. No pictures, no yearbooks, absolutely nothing. It was like he just appeared into existence one day. I ended up calling his father, who, after a lot of poking and prodding about the situation, spilled absolutely everything. My husband, the sweetest man alive.
Not so sweet that you want to respect his boundaries and, you know, when he says that he's not ready to talk about his trauma or whatever.
But aside from that, you know, I think he's the sweetest, but that doesn't include respecting boundaries. My husband, the sweetest man alive, had been abused to the point of near death by his mother.
Sweet. I sort of saw that coming. That sucks ass.
Neglected so badly that at age 12 he was only 40 pounds and nearly got strangled to death by that bastard woman. That was why he got sent to his father, apparently.
Apparently? Yeah, wow.
I felt sick. I actually couldn't believe what I had heard. I just kind of hung up and cleaned the house back up and sat around feeling really gross. My husband, who came back early when his father spilled that he had told me, was furious. For the first time in our entire relationship, he f***ing screamed at me. He screamed that I was awful for digging up his past when he wasn't ready. I just kind of stood there, stunned as he grabbed his cat and left.
I kind of like that mental picture there. It's taking a cat under your arm and just like walking out. That's kind of a fun mental picture though, even if this is like 80% just like creative writing, you know?
He's been staying with his brother since, isn't answering my calls nor his father's. At this rate, I'm worried I might be getting served divorce papers. I was just curious. I didn't think it would be something that bad. Am I the butthole?
Okay, I'm getting better at this. She doesn't see his skin that often. This is fake as f***. okay, to be fair, he could be wearing turtlenecks because he knows he has scarring, and then maybe purposefully has long hair or something to cover it, so you wouldn't really see it. That obviously, like, I can sort of make arguments for why that would be the case, but some other parts of the story are just like, they give me so much creative writing prompts. I'm gonna say 80% the story is both. But if it isn't, lady, you have some fucking issues. Why is my teenage son no longer speaking with me after I purposefully mentor the bully who has tormented him for years? Okay, I don't think that's the original title. That would be hilarious if that's the original title. Here's the original title. Am I the butt for telling my mom she is dead to me if she mentors my bully? That sounds more like an r/am I the butthole title. The other one sounds like a little bit on the nose. But let's get into it, shall we? So my 16M mom, 40s, is a teacher at my school. Our school has a special elective that you can take, which is being a teacher's aide during your elective period. It's mostly stuff like grading papers for them, making copies, mentoring, etc. It's pretty much always just the teacher's favorite student at the time. I found out at the beginning of the semester that my mom chose Dave, 17, to be her TA. Dave has made my life a living nightmare since middle school. He has bullied me mercilessly, both physically and emotionally, since 6th grade. I don't want to get into everything he's done to me, but everyone is fully aware of it, including the school and my parents. There have been countless meetings with school administration and suspensions on his end, but it never stopped him. Since we have been in high school, I haven't had to see him as much, which is a relief, but the times that I do are always terrible. When I found out that he was her new TA, I was obviously very hurt and confused. I asked her why she would want to spend extra time with someone who made my life so terrible. She said that she had him in one of her classes and he really isn't such a bad kid. I hate when people make those sort of arguments. I have heard those kind of arguments firsthand, when someone asks like, why don't you want to be close to this person or something like that, and it's like, oh yeah, they did X, Y, and Z to me, or they were really violent or nasty or did this, and then the person replies, they haven't done that to me, so they can't be that bad. Well, obviously they're not gonna do it to everyone. Obviously this little 17-year-old POS isn't gonna be a bully to full-grown adults they encounter. Are you serious? Or the same thing with, like, for example, abusive partners. They're abusive to their partner. They are rarely abusive towards the entire world. That's usually not how it goes. Even evil people that do stuff like that act completely normal 90% of the time. I think people picture like a bit of a Disney villain-esque caricature when people talk about subjects like this, people that force themselves on others or abusers or stuff like that. But the horrible truth is, the scary truth is that 90% of the day, they are completely normal. They go to work like everyone else. They probably have friends. They probably have people at the office they have after works with. They go down to the local supermarket to buy bills. Maybe they even volunteer somewhere. Maybe they're charismatic and likable. That's the scary part. People that do horrible shit, they're not Disney villains. They operate like normal people in every other aspect of their life. That's what makes it so scary, and that's what makes it so difficult for victims. Anyway, that was a bit of a side tangent. Let's keep reading the story about this shitty parent. She said that she had him in one of her classes and that he really isn't such a bad kid, but he has a really terrible home life that she can't tell me about that makes him act out. Okay, then fix another mentor for him that isn't like compromised on a personal level. Why do you have to do it when the person he's tormenting is your kid? You can do this without getting personally compromised because of it or betraying your kid. This is insane. For the record, my mom has always had a soft spot for kids who come from bad homes. I reminded her of all the things he had done to me, and she said that she understands, but he really needs help right now. I told her I get that, but why does it have to be you? Exactly. That would have been the obvious choice. You can easily acknowledge that maybe he has a horrible home life and he should get help for it because he's still a minor, but it doesn't have to be you. You don't have to do this in front of like your own child who is tormenting, okay? That doesn't make the bad things he did go away, and it doesn't make the pain for your own kid any less real. This is incredibly invalidating. We have a huge school full of teachers and staff who can mentor him. Why does it have to be you? She told me to stop being selfish, and some kids have it harder than I can imagine, and she is just trying to help. You're willing to like blow up your own family to help this like one bully in school instead of referring him to another mentor that isn't like personally involved in any way? Okay, that sounds like a horrible priority. I was honest with her and told her that if she continues to have him as her aide, she was dead to me. She was choosing him over me, and she would no longer be my mother. I would not talk to her, and the minute I turned 18, I was moving out and she would never hear from me again. She rolled her eyes and said I was being dramatic, but after a couple of days of ignoring her, I was grounded. It didn't change my mind, and my dad tried to force me to talk to her. I still refused, so they pretty much took everything away from me one by one for the past few weeks. I no longer have my car, computer, guitar, and most recently my art supplies. So I have come home from school and go straight to my room, and I'm not allowed out except for dinner until I start talking to her again. Ah, so your own parents are now bullying you on the behalf of the bully. So when you don't like that your mom is with your bully, basically, they will bully you in your own house. Man, if this story is real, these parents are absolutely unhinged. They don't realize that this is just strengthening my resolve. I am going to sit in this empty room every day, silently, until I'm 18 and they will never see me again. My mom keeps coming and crying and begging me to talk to her, which makes me feel kinda bad, but she still won't remove Dave as her aide. Oh my god, so she feels bad enough about her kid not talking to her that she will come and cry and be manipulative and shit. But not enough to just do the simple thing of like, hey, handing this kid over to some other mentor or teacher that would just resolve the whole situation right away. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird how people like this always do that? They're never able to do the small thing that would magically fix it. They're just expecting everyone else to bend over backwards and be fine with it. That is pretty telling. Am I taking this too far? I just feel so betrayed. Mentoring is one thing, but choosing the bully over OP in the form of grounding, punishing, and removing all his personal possessions just to underscore how much they chose to bully over OP is kinda messed up. It's almost like the bully has recruited the parents to bully him at home, while the bully has things on lockdown at school. I get the situation could be complicated, but I really don't feel the parents are taking the right approach to this. No, the parents are being crazy. I think it's okay to talk about the topic of that the bully probably has a tough home life and they need assistance if that seems to be the source of the aggression, right? But it doesn't have to be the parents. It doesn't magically take away the hurt that the bully has caused your own child, your own flesh and blood, right? And that is your first priority, being on your son's side, who has also been a victim of bullying and physical attacks for literal years at this point, right? And you're completely ignoring that, saying that, oh, but the person who was like tormenting you for years also had it tough. It's like, okay, great, but they made my life hell. Why did they have to make my life hell? Because they had a shitty home life. That's the thing about this kind of stuff. It's a perfectly reasonable discussion to have about difficult home lives and how that make people act out, but that doesn't justify it, and it doesn't make the pain go away just because there was a reason for it. If someone was doing this to someone in my family, I certainly wouldn't be on the bully side. On a more like objective level, I could take a step back and be like, okay, if they had a shitty home life and, you know, they had a parent who was violent and that made themselves act out and become violent in return, it's like, okay, they should receive help, but I want them to be farther away from my family and the people they actually hurt, okay? I'm not against them getting help, but I'm sure as gonna keep them away from the people I love that they were actively hurting. That is a boundary that you can have on a personal level, but still believe in like the support system as a whole. That's the more reasonable approach to have. It sounds like the mom just have some kind of like white knight syndrome or something like that. You know, knight in shining armor. I'm gonna save this poor child to the detriment of my own child, but that, I'm doing charity, so it's okay. Just washing this car, just minding their own business. Everything is going fine. Wait, the driver just tosses a drink at him and they spray it. Oh, that's so beautiful. That is so beautiful. And it's so casual as well. Just like, oh, toss a drink at me. Why would the driver do this? I mean, why would they be so stupid that they literally assault the service worker that is like fixing their car, but also a service worker that has like a high pressure water hose that they can use to spray them back? Why would you bring a little cup to a water hose fight? I mean, it's like really disrespectful, probably illegal, and really f***ing stupid. But that is some sweet karma for you. Oh no, consequences. Am I the butt for cheating my coworker out of a free meal? I, 28M, work with this woman Lydia, 24F, who has a very annoying habit. She has a dating profile that she uses specifically to lure guys into buying her expensive dinners at restaurants she wants to try, and then ghost them. Lydia brags about this all the time and is never interested in actually dating, but she will act like it to sell it. Okay, I'm gonna say 50-50 if the story is real, right? Because there definitely are people out there that do it, but it's also such an internet cliche of, you know, like, oh, yes, females using men for free meals and stuff. So I'm like always a little bit like, you know, skeptical when I see this kind of stuff, especially formulated so like in your face, like she's bragging about it to the coworkers, going on these dates every week, you know, it's like 50-50 if this is real. Like people like this exist, but this is also very on the nose. I can't stand this because it's playing with people's hearts. But Lydia thinks of it as a life hack to try food or drink she otherwise couldn't afford. What do you mean she couldn't afford it? Oh my god, what kind of expensive places are you going to? Like, Jesus, and is she dating, like, I don't know, like, 60-year-old sugar daddies or something? Like, what's the dynamic of these dates? Like, this sounds pretty wild. Like, free meal is one thing, but it's like literally trying things that you otherwise wouldn't be able to afford has like a bit more oomph to it, right? That now it starts painting a bit of a different picture. My friend Daniel, 32M, is also on dating sites, but for the right reasons. His late wife died a few years ago and he's just started jumping back into the dating scene. Daniel's a very sweet guy and I really want him to find a great lady for him. A few days ago, he texted me asking if I knew Lydia. They matched and got talking about work, which is how he found out we worked at the same place. I told him all about Lydia's BS with the restaurant thing and made it very clear to him that he would be best to drop things with her early on. Daniel said that he would probably still do the date but ask for separate checks. Well, they went out this past weekend and on Monday Lydia came into work very upset. I asked her how her date with Daniel went and she ripped into me asking if I was the one who told him not to pay for her dinner. Apparently she had Daniel take her to a high-end steakhouse and she ended up splurging. High-end steakhouse, okay, that's like kind of pricey, but not to the extent that you would never ever be able to go like on your own, you know, if that makes sense. Not like they're eating like gold-plated oysters or whatever. So maybe it was an exaggeration in the beginning of the descriptor, I guess. Or maybe it's both. Who knows? Maybe it's both. She got a drink, a full entree with a side and dessert, where Daniel just ordered a sandwich and salad. Her bill alone came to $70 something. That's a pretty pricey dinner, yeah? And she was almost in tears at work, as she didn't expect to pay for it, and now her car was low on gas. I'm still 50-50 if this story is real or not, because now it's like so in your face that like, haha, look at this nasty female who had consequences and now she can't pay for gas. Like, I don't know, there are definitely nasty, responsible people out there, but this is like all the cliches mashed into one story a bit too conveniently. I got a little upset too, as she tried to use my friend as a literal meal ticket, but somehow she doesn't see it that way. Daniel told me later the date was going kinda well until he asked for separate checks. And then Lydia just got weirdly cold. So now Lydia's mad at me because I told someone about her little tactic and it backfired on her. I don't feel like I did anything wrong since it was a grieving friend I was protecting. That's also it, like it's also a grieving friend, you know? So he's like a double victim, this person. He has lost his wife. So it's like this meal ticket female is not only a greedy meal ticket gold digger, she's also doing it to widowed men, you know? So they, so disgusting. But some other people we work with said I should have stayed out of it because it was none of my business. I'm gonna be honest, here's my rating. If this is real, she is very painfully obviously a POS. Like, why would you even need to make this story, to be honest? But by the end of this, with all the like widowed man, all the stereotypes, etc., I'm like, I'm more like 75% sure this is BS. Like, there are people like this out there, but the thing with this specific story, it's like it's every single stereotype stashed in one. You know, you have widows, you have, you know, lying about this, you have meals, you have going out on dates every time, you have bragging about how nasty you are. You know, she's not doing it in secret or whatever, she's actively bragging and then attacking him in the office, and then she doesn't have gas for her car because she's so broke and irresponsible that when the food scheme doesn't work out, she's literally has $0 in her bank account. So like, it's like, yeah, nasty people like this surely do exist, but this sounds more like a rage bait story with too many stereotypes in it. I'm gonna be honest, this smells like BS. My friend cheated on her husband and couldn't believe he moved on so quickly. My now ex-friend, 27F Sarah, has been with her husband, 27M John, for over 10 years. Now, they aren't legally married, but calls each other wife and husband. They have 2 children together. Just last year in January, Sarah got caught cheating on John. It has been going on for a few months. She doesn't have a license or car, he would drop her off at work and then she will leave with the guy afterwards. There will be times she says she's with someone, but with the guy. When she got caught, they were separated for a bit. Once she found out that he had reconnected with his high school ex on social media, she went to directly message her and said that they are still together. He cheated on her instead. She cried to me about it, and I did look at her like, what? I told her, he only messaged that woman and you're already this hurt? So imagine how he felt when he found out you have been doing stuff with this guy. She promised everyone she wouldn't do it again. I mean, it just sounds like the guy was out flirting because they were technically separated and broken up at that point, right? It's like, let's go on a break and then if I happen to meet someone else who isn't the cheater, I'll do that instead. Like, she's the one who cheated and broke the relationship, come on fam. Fast forward to May. She got caught cheating again, and this time he was done with her. They were still living together, so at first, the new guy would park at the street to pick her up. It eventually got to the point he was confident enough to park in front of the house. She moved out in June, and that was the end of their marriage. On to October, Sarah found out that he reconnected with his high school ex again, and they are now dating. She went full-on crazy and jealous mode. She told him, of all people, why her? She made up lies to the kids and everyone that he cheated on her with his high school ex. She was the reason why they broke up. During those times, she was trying hard to get back with John, but he wouldn't budge. She made up all kinds of excuses to talk to John. Sadly, she even stopped seeing her kids too. She would pick them up at least once or twice a month if they're lucky. Now at this point, she was having problems with her new man. They were arguing every day, and to the point that he hit her a few times and chipped her tooth. Oh my god. She cried again to me. She told me she couldn't believe John would move on so quick. Lately, John has been so mean to her and was always on his girlfriend's side. I mean, yeah, would expect him to be on his partner's side above his cheating ex, I suppose. That makes kind of sense. She even said he loved his girlfriend more than he ever loved her. Now, she even made the choice to not be friends with her. It was either her or John's girlfriend. Now, at this point, my husband is close friends to John, and there was not much I can do. I told her you cheated and messed up. You had it good with John, but because he wasn't what you wanted, you left him and your guys' kids. Now you found someone who hits you when John has never laid hands on you. Needless to say, I'm glad my relationship with her is over. I mean, Jesus Christ, you should probably not wish violence on someone, even if they're like a cheating, lying scumbag or whatever, but they certainly deserve the breakup and like that kind of stuff, you know? But the new man still sounds like an abusive butthole. Like, multiple people can be shitty at the same time, you know? The new man sounds like an abusive POS, and she sounds like a lying cheater who will perfectly be willing to like basically slander her ex to like get back at him for moving on after she cheated. So I don't know, two wrongs don't make a right, I suppose. That's one thing I reacted to at the end of the story, but otherwise, good riddance. I deserve a chance like the rest of us. Oh, that's a lot of changes. Man dubbed Black Alien due to his extreme body modification says no one is hiring him. My guy, you would kill at a weed shop. There would be a draw. Man, they literally got an alien working over there, dude. Or learn how to tattoo. Yeah, this would fly so well in like a tattoo parlor or a weed shop. Go for that. This is like free marketing for those kind of vibes, honestly. Like for an office space, probably not gonna go very well. For a weed shop or a tattoo parlor, hell yeah, this is free marketing. This is amazing. Am I wrong for putting peanuts in my food and not putting an allergen label on it, knowing that the food thief is allergic? Okay, I know we haven't read the story yet, but just based on the title, one shocking question I have for like the food thief in this instance. If you have a dangerous allergy, how on earth do you have the gall and the guts to steal food that you're not even sure is like adapted for your allergy? Like, oh my god, I imagine if you have like a sensitive allergy to something in food, stealing other people's food in the office would be like the last thing you would do for like your own safety. Holy fuck, man, what the hell? So my new office recently got a new hire, Omar. He's a young Muslim guy, fresh out of college, and ever since he was onboarded, my food has been going missing. I mention his religion because I'm also Muslim, and it's hard to find halal food on short notice. And it's been really difficult not having food to eat because it's been stolen. My theory is that he stole my food because I'm the only obviously Muslim one in the office. I wear a hijab and have mentioned going to a mosque. And he knows that my food is okay to eat. I have tried talking to him about this, but he always plays dumb and denies knowing anything about my missing meals. As the title says, Omar is allergic to peanuts. On Friday, I brought leftovers which included peanuts. I made sure to label the package clearly with my name, but I didn't think to include any label about it having peanuts in it. No one else in the office uses allergen labels for their food. It didn't even cross my mind. I mean, honestly, why would you have to put allergens on like personal boxes with your name on it? It's one thing if you like leave something in the kitchen, which is like, oh, anyone can grab this leftover cake or something like that from a birthday party or whatever. Then you can label it because it's for everyone, right? That makes perfect sense. But if it's a personal box with your name on it, you shouldn't have to label it because no one else is supposed to eat it, you know? And I'm even more surprised someone who is allergic is so willing to dig through other people's food and then expect them to label it because he might want to steal it. That's pretty wild. When I got to the fridge and realized my food was once again missing, I rushed to Omar's desk, where I of course found him eating my food. And I told him that the lunch that he stole had peanuts in it. His eyes got really wide as he went for his EpiPen, and thank goodness he injected himself before the reaction got really bad. After Omar got done panicking about his reaction, he blew up at me. He said that I could have killed him. Correction, you could have killed yourself because you're eating random stuff without even checking if it is appropriate for your allergy, and you're stealing things that aren't yours. Like, how on earth could you expect people to label lunchboxes that they don't know that you're gonna steal? Like, you almost killed yourself. No one else tried to hurt you. And I said that he wouldn't have been in danger if he wasn't a liar and a thief. He told me that it was my fault for not putting an allergen label on the packaging. And I said that I'm lactose intolerant, but I don't expect everyone to put labels on their dairy because I don't steal other people's food. He said that's different because milk won't kill me. And I said it was the same principle. HR has ruled in my favor, but now requires allergen labels on all foods. Honestly, a very easy solution: put peanut labels on all your boxes. There you go. Booyah. Or next time, don't put allergens in it, but put like really hot peppers in it. You know, that will have a very funny effect that isn't necessarily lethal, right? It's just gonna burn for a while and it's gonna be sweating and panicking and stuff, which is really funny. And the entire office is mad at me. Not just for the inconvenience of the labels, but because I targeted Omar and tried to kill him. Very obviously not. He's an incredibly irresponsible, stealing, thieving asshole who for some reason is comfortable stealing food he doesn't know has peanuts in it or not. He sounds like he's playing with fate more than anything. I cannot imagine having a dangerous allergy and going through random lunchboxes I don't know what's in them. That is insane. Now I feel bad. Am I in the wrong here? I once got fired for putting scorpion peppers in a sandwich that, as it turns out, my boss stole. Worth it? That's what I'm saying. Next time, put hot peppers in it. Ain't nobody gonna complain about allergens, but maybe when he almost died from peanuts and then also has its mouth burned off, maybe he will learn a lesson. I mean, I doubt it. If you haven't learned your lesson when you almost like got yourself killed from stealing lunchboxes, I don't know what will. He just sounds like modern Darwinism at this point. Jesus Christ, man. Well, laddies, lasses, and lassos, I do hope you enjoy this little collection of consequences as much as I enjoyed having you here. Make sure you have an amazing rest of your day because you deserve it, and I will see you in the very near future. Take care. Mwah.